Climate change in Kenya is increasingly impacting not just the lives of the citizens, but the environment as well, with more frequent extreme weather conditions that have been accompanied by irregular and unpredictable rainfall patterns, flooding, and increasing temperatures. The effects of these climatic changes have made already existing challenges with water security, food security, and economic growth even more difficult. Harvests and agricultural production, which account for about 33% of the total gross domestic product, are also at risk. Early November this year, during the COP26 World Leaders Global Summit in Glasgow, Scotland, President Uhuru Kenyatta expressed concern over the unpredictable climatic changes that have destabilized nature, further calling for action towards developing and accelerating strategic action plans.
Part of Kenya's long-term strategy that is being finalized and depending on levels of international support, as well as the principles of equity and fairness, we project to meet net zero target by 2050.
In response to the climatic impact on farmers, scientists have been coming up with early maturing, drought and disease-tolerant, high-yielding and also introducing the production in other semi-arid areas in Kenya. Currently, the country produces about 275,000 pigeon peas against 1 million ton on demand, with the crop mainly cultivated in eastern area of Ukambani and coastal region. The benefits of the government Pigeon Peas project are already being felt by farmers in Nyahururu, Laikipia County, commending the crop variety for its adaptability and ability to flourish within the area. Pigeon peas, locally known as mbaazi, does well in a temperature region between 18 to 38 degrees centigrade, annual rainfall range of 600 to 1,000 millimeters, and thrive in a well-drained soil of an optimal pH of 5 to 7. Speaking in Laikipia while conducting a participatory variety selection and evaluating new pigeon peas varieties with local farmers, Professor Paul Kimani, a lecturer at the Department of Plant Science and Crop Protection at the University of Nairobi, says the government has been looking for technologies that can help farmers cope with the current situation of climate change by growing crops that require minimal amounts of water.
This is, like you can see in this field, it's a very good example. Pigeon pea, this crop has not received any water at all. And the first long rain season of the year failed. Now we're in the second season, and this is November, and it's still very, very dry. But you can look at these plants, and the productivity, you can see the number of pods. So pigeon pea is one of the most drought-tolerant crops. And the reason why it's so drought-tolerant is that it has very deep roots. They can go even up to more than 1.5 meters, which means they can extract water and nutrients from the ground.
Farmers in this area were not growing pigeon peas and thus have been surprised on how the crop varieties have done well beyond their expectations. One Samuel Deuri, a farmer in Gatundia village, testifies on how the crop has unimaginably done well.
I am surprised in this area we have not been doing pigeon peas, but surprisingly they have done very, 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 very well, even beyond our expectation. We thought that pigeon peas are only grown in very arid areas, Machakos, Kitui, those areas eastern side, but we were surprised the level of performance of pigeon peas in this area. Okay, we have about 12 varieties that have been planted here. And out of those 12 varieties, the earliest has matured within 5 months. And those who were tending to be a bit late is about 6.5 months.
Another farmer, Margaret Wangari from Munyu village, says the new varieties grow faster, have good yields, and are suitable for the area.
Basi kama variety 6 ndio zinaweza fanya mzuri hapa. Kwa ajili kwa mazao, iko na mazao mzuri, inamea mzuri na inakuwa mzuri. Na ukiangalia kwa matawi ama kwa mbegu zile zimeweka kwa hiyo stem iko na mazao mingi na ni mzuri sana. kwa kuzaa inazaa zaidi, na kwa matawi na kwa variety yake ni variety mzuri zote.
According to Professor Kimani, notwithstanding the new technological advances, many farmers still grow low-yielding, late maturing land races and take up to 11 months to mature in the field, but notes that adoption of improved variety by smallholder pigeon pea farmers is key to increase their outputs and incomes. India imports from Kenya a substantial amount of pigeon peas for dal, the Indian split pea making. Professor Kimani, however, notes that Kenya has not been able to optimally supply the market since farmers are not producing enough and also lack proper organizational structures. The farmers are also not taking advantage of the improved and modern varieties.
There's a huge export market. Countries like India import substantial amounts, especially for dal making, and they like the Kenyan pigeon peas. But Kenya has not been able to supply this market because either the farmers don't produce enough and they are not very well organized. And besides, they are not exploiting the modern variety.
The improved long 9 months, medium 6 months, and short 4 months duration pigeon pea cultivars were developed and released in Kenya during the last 20 years by the University of Nairobi, Kenya Agricultural Livestock and Research Institute KALRO, and International Crop Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics. This now stands hopeful in the agricultural sector in the quest for mitigating climatic action for food security. Claudio Otieno, Metropole TV.